it's Teacher Jocelyn again. I have 2 more stories for you, and today both of the stories are by an author I love called Leo Lionni, and both of the stories, one a Caldecott honor, which means they have beautiful illustrations. And in both of these, I think the illustrations might not be made by drawing. I think they're made in different ways. So look at the illustrations when we read these and see if you can figure out how you made those pictures. I think it's different in the 2 books. So the first one I want to read to you is Swimmy. And this is Vivian's copy of Swimmy, but we have this book at school too. So you may have read it. A happy little school of fish lived in a corner of the sea somewhere. They were all red. Only one of them was as black as a mussel shell. He swam faster than his brothers and sisters, and his name was Swimmy. One bad day, a tuna fish, swift, fierce, and very hungry, came darting through the waves. In one gulp, he swallowed all the little fish. Only Swimmy escaped. He swam away in the deep, wet world. He was scared, lonely, and very sad. But the sea was full of wonderful creatures, and as he swam from marvel to marvel, Swimmy was happy again. He saw a Medusa made of rainbow jelly. A lobster who walked about like a water-moving machine. Strange fish pulled by an invisible thread. A forest of seaweeds growing from sugar candy rocks. An eel whose tail was almost too far away to remember. And sea anemones who looked like pink palm trees swaying in the wind. And then, hidden in the dark shade of rocks and weeds, he saw a little school of fish just like his own. Let's go and swim and play and see things, he said happily. We can't, said the little red fish. The big fish will eat us all. But you can't just lie there, said Swimmy. We must think of something. Swimmy thought and thought and thought. And then suddenly he said, I have it. We're going to swim all together like the biggest fish in the sea. He taught them to swim close together, each in his own place. And when they had learned to swim like one giant fish, he said, I'll be the eye. There he is. And so they swam in the cool morning water and in the midday sun, and they chased the big fish away. I like that one because it was reminding me of how when people and fish work together, and fish really do that, to get away from big fish that eat them. When we work together, we're able to do things that we can't do when we're on our own. And the other one that I was thinking about reading with you today is Fredrick. That's also by Leo Lionni. And it's about this little mouse. There he is. All along the meadow where the cows grazed and the horses ran, there was an old stone wall. In that wall, not far from the barn and the granary, a chatty family of field mice had their home. But the farmers had moved away. The barn was abandoned and the granary stood empty. And since winter was not far off, the little mice began to gather corn and nuts and wheat and straw, and they worked all day and night, all except Fredrick. Fredrick, why don't you work? They asked. I do work, said Fredrick. I gather sun rays for the cold, dark winter days. Gather sun rays. And when they saw Fredrick sitting there staring at the meadow, they said, "And now, Fredrick?" "I gather colors," said Fredrick simply, "for winter's gray." And once Fredrick seemed half asleep. "Are you dreaming, Fredrick?" they asked reproachfully. But Fredrick said, "Oh no, I'm gathering words, for the winter days are long and many, and we'll run out of things to say." Well, the winter days came, and when the first snow fell, the 5 little mice took to their hideout in the stones. A lot of animals stay inside for a long time in the winter. In the beginning, there was lots to eat, and the mice told stories of foolish foxes and silly cats. They were a happy family. But little by little, they'd nibbled up most of the nuts and berries. The straw was gone, and the corn was only a memory. It was cold in the wall. No one felt like chatting. And then they remembered what Fredrick had said about the sun rays and the colors and the words. "What about your supplies, Fredrick?" they asked. "Close your eyes," said Fredrick, as he climbed on a big stone. "Now I send you the rays of the sun. Do you feel their golden glow?" And as Fredrick spoke of the sun, the 4 little mice began to feel warmer. Was it Fredrick's voice? Was it magic? "And how about the colors, Fredrick?" they asked anxiously. "Close your eyes again," Fredrick said. And when he told them of the blue periwinkles, which are flowers, the red poppies and the yellow wheat and the green leaves of the berry bush, they saw the colors as clearly as if they'd been painted in their minds. "And the words, Fredrick?" Fredrick cleared his throat, waited a moment, and then, as if from a stage, he said, "Who scatters snowflakes? Who melts the ice? Who spoils the weather? Who makes it nice? Who grows the 4-leaf clovers in June? Who dims the daylight? Who lights the moon? 4 little field mice who live in the sky. 4 little field mice like you and I. One is the spring mouse who turns on the showers. Then comes summer who paints in the flowers. The fall mouse is next with walnuts and wheat. And winter's last with little cold feet. Aren't we lucky the seasons are 4? Think of a year with 1 less or 1 more." When Fredrick had finished, they all applauded. "But Fredrick," they said, "you're a poet." Fredrick blushed, took a bow, and said shyly, "I knew it." All right, that's all the stories for today. I'll see you next time.